So I'm off early this morning, a little bit of a saltwater session, going to throw some lures at brim, hopefully maybe some brim, some whiting, some flathead, you never know. I've got a few divers packed, a little bit of everything. Just going to try ourselves. It's going to be very hot today, so we're just got out in the dark, spend a few hours early and see how we go. The hour is early, but the expectations are high. There's a little bit of surface activity just out between the two of us, about right at the range of casting distance. Oh, oh, something's in there. I'm thinking whiting by the way it followed that in and had a couple of goes. Oh, is that hits? Come on. Yep. I'm not sure if it's a pike. A long tom. Spat it. As my expectations and hopes shrink, so too does the size of the lure. Yeah. Kim. Well, I can't say that for sure at the moment. I'd say it's a brim. Yeah, it's a brim. I'm up here on top of the Empire State Building. There we go. Only a little fella, but I'm on the board. There we go. The sailboat goes past. See you, mate. Bloody weed, man. Yep. I think this one might be a flatty. Yep. Flatty on 4 pound. Could end in tears. Just back this drag off a little bit. Don't want him thrashing about on the surface too much because he might break the leader or spit the lure, or both. There we go. He's in the net. Not a huge flatty, but on brim gear, not too bad. That's all right. Mine snapped me off and took my lure, then jumped off the rocks. You right? Yeah, good fish, mate. Well done.
I just caught mine a second time.
Oh, really?
He dropped off into here, into the little rock pool, and I thought he'd found a way out underneath the rocks, but he must have just been hiding, so he swam back out and I caught him in the net. The main thing was he had my lure still stuck in his gob. Yours gone now? Here we go, now for the proper release. Off he goes. Straight down into the sand down there. Just sitting there, looking like a rock. Good on you, mate. Something stinks. It's only a little brim, I'd say. Not sure what smells so bad. Oh, he's got a pack with him. There was 3 other fish trying to take the lure out of his mouth. They're still hanging around. There we go. SX40 brim killer. I'd rather catch them on surface, but I'd rather catch them than not catch them also. There he is. See you, mate. There's a little surface. And I did the wrong thing. I moved the lure too quickly. After the hit, I should have just left it sit there. Especially if it's a brim. Quite often that they'll just come back and hit the stationary lure if they've missed it first time, so that was bad fishing by me. This one goes out to you, Mr. Windsor Bait and Tackle. Been watching you fishing the drains. And look what I've done. Caught a brim in a drain. Thanks, mate. Good tips. So I might change target species for a few casts. Seeing as how we caught some flatties in the area early. Yep. It's a sole. There we go. That's another species for the day. Look at that for a cool little fish. He's got some wicked little teeth in there. There we go. Off you go, mate. Oh, that's a less than graceful entry, but there he goes, just sitting right down there in the rocks, looking for all the world like another rock. He's still just sitting there. He's probably got a mild case of concussion from the re-entry into the water, but he's shaking it off. Well done. You're pretty much right in reference to as soon as that wind changed direction and chopped the surface up a little bit, all the surface activity just... Oh, bitten off. I felt that hit, gone. Yep. Yeah, flatty I'd say. I was burning it back because I'd had a tap and I hadn't felt it come back. And just as I decided to start burning it back, he's jumped on. Oh, I think I saw flatty. Just saw the white belly as it came up and... Could be wrong though. I've been wrong once or twice this morning.
It's always a gamble, isn't it? Try to pick it,
Either way, it's nice to hear that drag screaming. Ah, flatty. Flatty on 4 pound. This could end in tears, ladies and gentlemen. It's a bit hard to tell how big it is, but it's got a bit of decent weight to it. I'm having to be quite gentle. I don't want to put too much strain on the 4 pound leader, just in case the flatty has managed to suck that lure down past its raspy teeth. The water's quite clear, so I can see it down there. Not sure if you pick it up on the camera. What I'm really hoping, Kim, is that when I turn and look at you, you can tell me that the red light is on my camera. Yeah. It is, that's good, because otherwise I was talking to no one except for you, and no one was seeing this little tussle. My immediate estimation was around about 50 centimetres, judging from what I can see, but the water tends to magnify things. Oh! Failed attempt. Failed attempt number 1. And there he is in the net. Look at that. Let's see how lucky I was, how the hook placement is. Right in the corner of the jaw. And that's probably a large part of the reason why that fight ended in my favour. Because if that leader had have been on those raspy teeth, as it is, there is a bit of damage to the leader, but it held up long enough, 4-pound fluorocarbon, for me to get him in. There it is, that's the little motor oil Z-Man. I think it's a 2.5 inch grubs. Did the job. Say hello to the world, you're on YouTube at the moment. The lady before was watching us fish and we were throwing all the fish back and she was going, "You're not, don't throw it back. No, don't throw it back." Off he goes. So we're on our way home now. Had a good little session. Caught a few decent fish, a few little ones, made lots of casts. The weed was a bit of a pain, and although the conditions looked really mint first thing for a surface bite, it didn't eventuate. Most of the fish, all of the fish were caught subsurface, and yeah, a mixture of flatties and brim and the little sole thrown in there for good measure. But yeah, good bit of fun, and it's currently 9:35 AM on Sunday morning and it's 30 degrees in Brisbane. So I'm glad that I'm back in the air conditioning and heading for home. Catch you for my next adventure.